Matt Dumont. I'm the captain over the programs division for the Sheriff's Office. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us and helping us and welcoming some of our newest residents up to Salt Lake County. That's 5,000 of the threatened least chub, Utah least chub fish. We have a wide range of people, a big group of people who were truly instrumental in making this whole program happen. Sheriff Winder and Chief Lofgren, your leadership was invaluable in making this happen. Salt Lake County Mayor Ben McAdams, Salt Lake County Council, the University of Utah, specifically Dr. Nadkarni, who will be speaking here in a little bit, and Emily Gaines. Excuse me. This project actually came to us through Dr. Nadkarni. She had worked on similar projects up in Washington State, and when we first started discussing building a pond and putting a threatened fish on the jail property, I think I scratched my head more than once. It seemed like something that was pretty far-fetched and something out of our wheelhouse, but boy, thanks for taking us out of our wheelhouse. This is going to be a great program. The Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, Chrissy Wilson, who will be speaking later on, and her team, John Fairchild, Cassie Mellon, and Chris Crockett. Our pond development team was made up of a fairly wide group of people, including Chris Crockett with DWR, Emily Gaines with the University of Utah, John Bergen with Salt Lake County Facilities, Lynn Larson with Salt Lake County Parks and Recreation, Matt Winward and Dustin Weiberg from G. Brown Designs, Reed and Jake Stallings with Stallings Construction, and Matt Johnson with H2J Construction. Kevin Harris and Ed Gagan from our, and in fact our entire maintenance team have been instrumental in helping facilitate the construction and access and things like that. And Terry Wall from Jail Programs, and then our program staff who excited and looking forward to taking part and being a part of this great and important program. We have some members from our Prisoner Services Fund Committee whose support has made the financing process throughout this for this project possible. And then of course some of our pond workers. You'll see some of the prisoners, and I had the opportunity to attend a class the other day with put on by DWR and the University of Utah, and we had some staff members and we had some prisoners attending the class, and the genuine excitement that you could feel in the room in taking part in this project, in doing some genuine good for the environment, and you know, in learning some important concepts and some great education along the way. It was very satisfying to see that kind of enthusiasm. This project's been in the works for almost 2 years now. It makes me proud to see where it is, how far we've come and where it is today. We still have a long ways to go. As you can see to my right here, those are the plans. That's what we want this area to look like at the end of this project. With that being said, I'd like to invite Sheriff Winder to come up and say a few words. After Sheriff Winder, we'll have Chrissy Wilson from DWR, followed by Dr. Nalini Nadkarni from the University of Utah. We'll have them each come up and say a few words. And thanks again for coming, and we look forward to a great event here in a few minutes when they get to move into their new home. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just can't even begin to tell you really how proud and honored and excited I am about today's events. I want to first just again offer some very specific recognition to Captain Dumont and his team, and I know it is a team effort. As Matt said, he scratched his head just a little bit. That's about the understatement of the century. I remember distinctly when we first got talking about these projects, Dr. Nadkarni came in and she was talking to us about the excitement that she's generated really all over the country. In jails and prisons around this country, we are learning that the individuals that we house, that are in our institutions, are capable of amazing things, of really changing the way the world looks, both for good and unfortunately sometimes maybe not for good. And so in these projects around the country, we are looking at how we can change the environment for the positive. Endangered species of all kinds throughout the country are being grown, raised, reared, and reintroduced in jails and prisons. And I have to tell you that the metaphor is not lost on me. When Dr. Nadkarni came here and we got talking, this was a field of weeds. A field of weeds that people looked upon and said, that's just old fallow ground, it'll never be anything. There's nothing you can do with that. It's caliche, it's old nasty soil and weeds, can't do anything with it. Sometimes people look at these gentlemen, they're standing right here, and they'll say nothing can be done. It's rough-hewn ground, can't revitalize it. It's not true, ladies and gentlemen. They're human beings just like you and me, and in fact, they can blossom and oftentimes do. Yes, we're excited this ground will one day look like this, but you know what we're doing this for is to change human beings, to change the world. And I don't say that lightly. That species has been in our state for eons, and it was threatened, and it needs guidance and love and a little bit of husbandry to get it back in and get it blossoming. So too do the human beings that are in our care. This is a holistic program, you guys. We don't run a jail to house people. We run a jail to change lives. This program is a demonstration of that. You wait. You come back to this ground in a year, and I'm sure you will. You'll see something different. You'll see beautiful shrubs and trees and opportunities for growth, a place where people will want to walk and spend time and reflect, a place both for our staff to come out and wander around, our public and our inmates. We're going to change the world here. We're going to start with one patch of ground at a time. Let me be a little more specific. The project here today is focused around the reintroduction of this endangered species. But this ground that you see here is not just shrubberies for beauty's sake, it's also shrubbery to teach and to train. Our individual inmates will come out here and they'll learn how to do residential and commercial landscaping based on the individual plant species that we will have here. So again, the metaphor continues. It's growth, it's revitalization, it's education, it's movement. I'm extremely proud and honored of what our staff has done. I look around here at the men and women that come here every day and serve our community. And I hope this is a reflection to you, fine men and women. We're moving forward in this institution. It's because of you. Thank you, Dr. Nadkarni, and thank you to our partners at the Division of Wildlife Resources. You've been amazing. Thank you to our contractors who came out here, oftentimes did a lot more than what we paid them for. Thank you to our maintenance staff that have literally given this thing life. We're moving ahead, you guys, and we're changing the world. Thank you very much.
Good morning. It's such an honor for me. Can you guys hear me okay? It's such an honor for me to be here. We within the Division of Wildlife Resources, we work in wildlife resources because of our stewardship and because of our passion for wildlife. And so it is such an honor for us that we have this great partnership between the jail, the county, the university, for a program that's called Inspire. It is very inspiring to me that we are looking at a project where we're going to introduce this fish that has struggled to maintain its existence in the state of Utah. And as Sheriff Winder mentioned, it's been here for thousands and thousands of years. It's part of your heritage. When I leave and my children and grandchildren are here, I want them to be able to have this fish as part of their heritage. And this is such an important step that we have this phenomenal partnership where we're going to inspire inmates to connect with nature. Those of us that work in wildlife resources, we do it because we strongly believe that our connection with nature puts us on a path to higher life. Maybe to some folks that sounds corny, but to many of us, that's the way that we reconnect to our soul. That's the way that we reconnect with what is important, is to get outside, to be with nature. what you guys are going to see here is right here. Look at this other nature you're going to see here. It's not going to be just least chub. It's also going to be the birds. It's going to be maybe raccoons. It's going to be some other animals that come here. But it will open up this opportunity for education for the inmates that will hopefully provide them some comfort and some guidance and maybe lead them on a path that is more in tune with what all of us would like to see and what you guys would like to see. We strongly believe with all of our hearts that connecting with nature is a healing experience. And so this program from the university that's called Inspire is it's just so fitting that is the name for this program. I do want to give a shout out to Chris Crockett. I know that Chris and Emily have done so much to get this working with the partners with the county and the jail. And Chris is 100% dedicated, and he gives probably 120% of his time towards his dedication to wildlife. Cassie Mellon has also been involved heavily in this, so I want to make sure that those folks are acknowledged for the hard work that they do. One thing that I did want to do is, I don't know if you guys have a library here, but I think we at the division, we would like to help you start building a library of especially the resources that you have here. So this is our most recent publication, and this is on the activities that were conducted this past year for least chub throughout the state. So our intent is, let's help you folks so that those of you that want to learn more about least chub and about the wildlife, that we can give you some of those materials that you have so that you can have access to those materials. Also, we would really like to extend our sincere appreciation to the inmates. This is all based on you guys and your effort, and it means so much to us, and we hope that you will be able to connect to nature and find the peace that we do when we as wildlife resource employees, when we work in nature, the peace that we find in the comfort, and hopefully lead you on a path that is a path towards whatever is right for you and whatever is meant for you to be in this world. So with that, I would just like to say thank you. This is such an impressive crowd. I mean, it's just overwhelming that we have so many people here that are supportive and have been working together to get this off the ground. So with that, I would like to say thank you.
Well, I am so happy and so excited about being at this event. My colleagues and my students at the University of Utah feel really grateful and very honored to be part of this partnership with the county jail and with the Division of Wildlife Services. 2 years ago, as Matt said, we started this Inspire program, and that Inspire stands for the initiative to bring science programs to the incarcerated. And one part of that program is this least chub pond. Our piece from the university is to provide science education to the inmates and to the staff who will be working with the pond and all of the beings that are going to be surrounding it. We'll be giving classes, we'll be giving workshops on wetland biology, on fish biology, on water quality assessment. So, and we predict that the interactions of the inmates, the staff, ourselves, the pond, the fish, will help really help the inmates think about science, to help them think about the jobs that exist in the STEM workforce, for example, to help them think about interacting better socially with each other, to think about learning behaviors that will help them on the outside as well as during their time here, taking responsibility for their assignments, being accountable for the health of these little delicate fish, and interacting positively with each other. And I think we can really soundly predict this for the Salt Lake County Jail inmates because of the other part of what we do, what Inspire does here, and that is our science lecture series that we've carried out here for over a year now. Each month, the staff here, Matt Dumont and his staff, allow us to bring a faculty member from the sciences or sometimes a graduate students from the sciences to actually deliver science lectures to the inmates in their cell blocks. The topics range from bacteria to insect biology to basic physics, and this is really to enrich not only the inmates who are hearing the lecture, asking good questions, coming up with insights from what they hear, but also to enrich and enlighten the faculty and the graduate students who deliver these lectures, being able to have an interaction with people who are not in their field, but who can have very good ideas as well. And I just want to add my thanks to the staff here at the jail, to Matt Dumont, our collaborators Cassie Mellon and Chris Crockett, and most especially I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, and I hope all of you as well, to Emily Gaines, who really was the mover and shaker in making this happen, and the go-between and the initiator of this project. Well, people might ask, especially all the media might ask, and if the governor were here, our legislators were here, well, is this really useful? Is this something that we should be spending our time and resources on? And I would say a resounding yes. Our evaluations with the science lectures have shown that there are significant increases in the understanding of science knowledge and attitudes about science and scientists that we see in the inmates after they receive our lectures. Well, is that any good? Well, in 2013, the Bureau of Justice Administration came out with a report that was a meta-analysis of all of the correctional educational programs in corrections institutions. Hello, birds. Come and stop here. In the United States. And what they found was that there is an increase in the probability of employment post-release if inmates are exposed to correctional education. There was a corresponding probability of a decrease in 13% of inmates going through recidivism. So I think science education and education in general, especially experiential education such as the inmates will be getting here, is definitely worth the investments that we're putting into it. That is, this kind of program really does reduce the economic, social, and the human costs of incarceration. I'd finally like to just put the context, or put these Chub Pond project in the context of what's going on at a national level. And as the sheriff indicated, our Inspire program here at Utah, both here at the jail and also at Draper State Prison, is one of a family of programs in which scientists are bringing nature and science education to correctional institutions. This is called the Sustainability in Prisons program. It is now operating in over 20 prisons in 9 states. And it involves inmates rearing endangered species for restoration projects, not only the Lee's chub, but the Oregon spotted frog, the Taylor checker spot butterfly, endangered prairie plants, and so forth. What we have learned is that one of the most powerful features of these programs is not necessarily the science education, not necessarily the job training, but rather providing the inmates with an opportunity to contribute something that's bigger than themselves, bigger than their families, bigger than just the jail where they are, but really as big as the planet Earth. And so I see this project as doing just that, providing the opportunity to contribute of inmates to something as big as the health of Utah's streams and waterways, and I think that's very important. I think with this opportunity, many of the inmates will become motivated to train for work and to living on the outside in ways that are positive, ways that are hopeful, and ways that are useful. So I'm very, very pleased to be part of this effort that makes the Salt Lake County Jail a leader in corrections, a leader that other corrections institutions, other institutions in general, will follow as they try to make life better and better lives for all the members of our community. And so I'm very grateful for all of the staff, all of those who contributed, for the inmates who I think are going to do very big things thanks to a very little fish. Thank you.
I'd just like to point out a couple of things. We've had some uninvited guests that we're very happy to have move in. We have some American Avocet that have moved in. If you see the blue flags around the property, especially over here on the south side, we have about 5 or 6 separate nests. If you look at the center of those, it's a great chance for a photo op. There's some really cool eggs in there that make a great picture. So if you get a second, take a chance to do that. I think they'll be very happy when we're all done with this. You can hear them shouting at us. And lastly, before we do the ribbon cutting, I'd like to thank everybody. We were planning on about 50 people coming to attend this today. And if you look around, I think that we grossly underestimated that number. Thank you all very much for your support and your support of this program. And with that, I'd like to invite Sheriff Winder, Dr. Nadkarni, and Chrissy Wilson to come up and pull these enormously sized scissors.
He's got a knife!
And we'll officially open the pond.
Beginning of wonderful things, ladies and gentlemen.
go.
Ready on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
All
right.
Yes.
I'll just make one other final comment before we come up here. The question Dr. Nadkarni raised about whether it's worth it or not, I forgot to mention in my comments. This entire project, ladies and gentlemen, is paid for by the inmates. Every dollar used here came out of the inmate services funds.
Occupied.
Right on, good job.